this first. Arrange.
Okay.
These are
So
separate. Wait, give me a second. Stop mirroring. Stop mirroring. Stop mirroring. So then,
I was thinking like for the next rounds, I should just write it not a chat, but a working session or something, because we're always like this is not a chat. This is like work session.
this is work session. Yeah, we are working. Wait. Mirror. No, this is the main display. Stop mirroring. Extended display, built-in display, extended and extended, right? Yes, okay. Just wanted to put one of this. So they changed my projectors. You know, I have like a 12,000 lumens.
Okay.
And I'm checking. Wanted to project the. This is this. Now it was here.
I bought my new nail polish
In Japan.
in Japan. Yes. I mean, it's not amazing. Actually, like I can't believe like I brought some of like the really good ones, so I can still play with these premium ones.
Huh. Trying to see how much yeah. Okay.
This is what I brought from Germany. I mean, it's imported from the US.
That's the one part of your project, right?
Yes. They should sponsor me. It is from Colombia.
Okay, but this is not urgent right now. Those here. Hey, so I was thinking that, practically speaking, that I think that we should. I think that we need to start working on a template of a website. Like, then I think we need to have. If I don't know if this is possible, can we have a video loop that is always this universally? That doesn't matter when somebody opens the website. Is always at the same time. Is always in the same point.
That's good point.
I think that will be great. I think that could be something that we
Yeah,
could
because that's
use.
like where we're heading to.
And also other people, I think eventually, like, because I saw you were doing this with your phone.
Right.
So I thought, like, I mean, it gives the possibility so that the video is always there. The loop is always there. Have you
Yeah, I was
written some?
wondering like because
Yes.
since like we started like this, like because you can program it so that always this random number generator can like output the same number every time. Like that's possible. So we could like not instead of like I mean we could also record it as a video loop, but also on the web page, with a canvas like kind of real time rendering, like how it's doing now, but program
Like, you
it
mean,
so that it will just loop
so like
the
that the
same
code, like that the
numbers.
code is always the same, like with
Yeah,
Perling nodes, or like
exactly. That you can
with
set
some algorithm that
the
is
random
always
seed. Yeah,
random, exactly the random seed. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would
I
be
mean,
handy actually.
but then, yeah. So that we could think, but then, I'm thinking that in the page, but it should have like the full version of not maybe not the full version, but I don't know, that it should have like maybe the full version. It should have like the program. I think it should have like some buttons, but that are not necessary right now. But I think it's something that we could use also with Modena. You know, like that, because we can start thinking in an interface that it has so maybe it has like the full interface, or maybe we can discuss that in another moment. What do we need? Because maybe it's too much, like it's a lot. Is that you or that me? Is
What?
that music?
That was weird. Like I heard something. It's not
No, that was
here.
me. Sorry, get out. Fine. So I'm projecting you here.
Hmm? Am I there?
Yeah, because it's YouTube. But can I put this YouTube videos in loop?
If you right click on the video, there's like a loop.
Loop, true. Yes, there is. Okay. Uh, okay, like so this is I guess in the comment that we should start thinking in an interface, like this should be an interface. So that I think that should be part of the project. Like it should be a website that is an interface with you, me, and the audience. For now, I think that we need a feature like that, like for today, for instance, if is it a loop? It doesn't matter if it's a video or if it's a program, but I would like that that the video is always running. I mean, do you see what I mean? That is not that the point is always in the same place, even when you open it there or when I open here. So there is not a starting, but there is at some point
You mean they're synchronized?
that they are synchronized. Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
I thought
that's
about that too. That would be really interesting. Like wherever you are, you just open it and everyone watching this see the same thing,
because
right?
when I found, I mean, I don't want to stay too much into this, but I think I will narrow down this and then I will pass it to you. Something specific. I have been reading something. This is quite interesting,
Okay.
and I'll just here. I think one of the main things is that so aesthetics, they are some things that they are experiencing time. So through perception, and perception is defined through your senses and experiences. I mean, if we define the perception is something that you perceive through your senses, right? It's something that it happens and it passes through your senses. It's different from consciousness, no? That
Right.
is a very different thing. So it's just it's a temporal experience that you have through your senses, and aesthetics also expand through your perception, basically. Um, there was a point on, classically speaking, art. With art, you normally you need time and distance because you want, in a way, blend. So basically, you want to blend in the art. So you want to have an objective, subjective experience of the artwork. In a way, I think I'm reframing this in different words, but I think the idea is that, classically speaking, with art, you need distance from the art to sit and appreciate, like, so give full attention to the art, to let the art speak into you, basically. And with art interactive media installations, of this is not longer the truth, because then the viewer, I mean, the artwork needs the intervention of the viewer to become something.
And it's like experiential.
Yeah. I was trying just to point something on. Yeah, this is specifically on web interfaces. While made specifically about generative web-based installations, Point could be extended to encompass interactive new media installations. How a viewer participant interprets the narrative of an artwork and interacts with it is entirely dependent on her experience in the world. This could also be extended to encompass the art world as a whole, in which, no, don't pay attention to that. I don't know if, I don't know if I think the point I was trying to somehow say here is that the time, it's interesting that this loop, if we make so that the website, like the artwork is there, is always in the same time. So regardless of if you open or not open, the artwork is there.
That was in the other text you sent me about the museum when there's no one or something like that. And that because that's something that like Martin was saying in the
With the painting in the
painting.
bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bucket does also, but I think he had the same reference about like music, like the best time in the museum is like when there's no one, something like that. Best time for the paintings. I don't know. I forgot what's exactly.
Okay. But going back to this, so like I think this is in the, how would you go that? Like, can you make that?
The
Like,
museum.
would
No, like the loop.
you,
But this is really
would you
interesting. Like the you know. So, I mean, we have to define a few things, right? So we are talking about like several things. Like one is the loop that always does the same thing. And the other thing is this synchronized thing that whenever you see it, wherever you see it, everyone's watching the page, they're seeing the
the,
same thing. But they're
the
two
same point?
different. I mean, it's not two separate things. The second one, how to say? I mean, I was thinking about this. So basically just check the time, and the program is doing the same instruction like based on the time. So like if it's 10 a.m., it's this movement. I
Yeah,
mean,
based on the
just
time,
repeats for like 1 minute.
based on
So
the time, computing time.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And
That makes
then just use the universal time so that well, it doesn't have to be even universal time because it's just repeating same thing every minute.
no, but that makes sense. And then it's up to you if you want to make it like with the program itself. Then it's just the program with a seed, like making a loop, like a random seed using seeds, or if we work also with the video, because the result will be, I mean, the same for now.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, let's see which is easier. I mean, video is not easy solution. No.
Because I mean, because the problem is that we will have, I guess, at the end, more that we advance, but we will have to have more flexibility, So
Right.
I mean that we will work with more with code, so we can bypass it now by videos, but we need to start understanding how to control this in time.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. But think about it. So that's something that we should start thinking. Like this should, yeah, it should be like this.
So that's my homework.
Yeah.
Make something.
And then the other thing is that I would like to start like bringing back then. No, cool. So I would like to like that we talk again about like the sigils, like how are we, what are these sigils, like that we start thinking on that and physically do something with it. But before that, let's talk about the experience. Let's go back to the contemporary workshop.
Yes, I actually took a contact info workshop yesterday.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Like, yeah, I don't know how to say.
Maybe I can start like from saying that the way, I mean, because I'm just from the physical experience, it's connected through the Clidian. You send me a message in WhatsApp that you were mentioning the Clidian time.
Right.
The way how I was, because we cannot keep on moving if the command or the score is to move left up, there's a point where you cannot go left up, right?
So basically,
and then,
yeah, just to recap, we had the dot moving around, and then first we did just following the dot, the first one. So it always comes back. But then we only follow when it goes left and up. And we just ignore everything, right? Everything else. I mean, right and down. And then we did the opposite. We just follow right and the going down. And so we were saying, you're saying,
but then,
yeah, like we can't keep following.
if the point, so if the point is, so we are saying that we do left up, at some point, the given moment, the point want to go right, but maybe and the next point might be left. So the way who I was dealing with that, it was if I'm doing, if what is happening is up, left, this is what the point is doing, like up, left, right, meaning that I only will move up, left. You can see it maybe. Yeah, maybe let's
Should I
try to see
skip a
it.
little bit? Or yeah, just
Yeah.
make it.
You can fast forward in a bit more. Like in the middle, you can put it.
I was really stretching.
Okay. Left. Okay, so let's check what I'm doing. So you should move up, left. Stop. Okay, stop. So like go back like 2 seconds, I think. I think what I'm trying to say, like I'm resetting my movement, and if you go to the 254.
Really hard to fine tune. So should I play it?
With the mouse, with the 2 fingers, you can go.
Oh.
If
Yeah.
you do 2 fingers, you can go faster.
Yeah.
Go down or up, you can.
I figured it out. Here, right? Or is it?
You see, like this.
Which one are you looking at? You on the left, or the right?
The left, the one to the left, yeah.
Okay, so
like
let's do it again. Yeah, like this here.
Yeah. So my hand, you see, I go down, up.
Yeah.
So go maybe a few seconds after before.
Again.
Yeah.
This here. This.
Okay, stop. So when there is no motion, so when there is motion right down, I'm not moving, but the next movement that is up or left, I will go, I reset my motion to the last point. Yeah, you understand that. Maybe I'm not explaining really good, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Can you express? Can you say what I'm saying?
So, oh my gosh. I had a long day. So you're trying to, yeah, like kind of swing, like, yeah, you were resetting
Yeah, I'm
instead
resetting.
of instead of like stretching to like really like reach out there so that you
Yeah,
can start from the origin somehow.
yeah, because also otherwise I could not move anymore.
Yeah, but that's
That was
interesting because the way you did it is like you are already like at the limit, and then from the next movement you need to follow, you reset it, right? But the way
say
I
again?
did was so so you are already at the limit, and then you're waiting until the next up that you
Oh,
can't
right.
do anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So you decided that when there's up, you reset and go up again.
I reset to the place, I mean, to the grid,
Yeah.
because, yeah, to the grid.
Mm. Because you're already drifting a lot from the
Yeah, so if
grid.
if I stop in the limit of left up, because there is right down movements, the next time there is a left up, I will be out of the grid.
Right.
Right? So if I'm at the limit of left up, and the next movement that it will be up left, I will just reset in the grid that point to what is in right left, right down, to
Yeah.
basically to stay in the grid.
The way I did it was more like I tried to like stretch, and then instead of like waiting for the next thing that I have to follow, because this is repeating, so I know that okay, there is a time that there's like right and down and right and down. So I just like go back while I'm kind of like resting.
When you cannot move anymore?
So I can't move anymore.
Yeah.
But then here, like I know already that the next that it's coming up that is like right and down and right and
Okay.
down that I don't have to follow for the next
Yeah.
movements. So there's like a gap. So that's the time I decide to okay, I go back to the center
So you
and
but
reposition.
you're recentering, you are resetting to the center.
Yeah, when I don't have to move.
Yeah.
But you are resetting when you have to move, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I reset and I have to move.
yeah.
Yeah. Because and also it gives this quality, the quality of movement changes, no? Because you have to catch
Mm,
up. You have to go reset fast before you do the other movement.
yeah. I mean, this is something that we didn't define, so it's interesting like how we interpret differently.
Which is, I mean, this is what I think is interesting when within the research that I propose here is about the
Mm,
perception and how we interpret the same thing. That's why, like the projection image, like this is something that I found very interesting. Like the one to the right up,
yep.
because my movements somehow are similar, but they are different. Like, and
Mm. And you did like some kind of like different articulation in the second one.
at sometimes I was like literally putting my hand left, like I think I was putting my,
Oh, oh, but that's
yeah,
different actually.
I remember like sorry, like that this was something that I thought was interesting, like in this exercise of projecting yourself, is that in terms of future, you can play with this with the future thing, because I almost sometimes could go fast. I mean, yeah, I could go in the future following, you see, sometimes I will go faster
Mm,
than than the projection.
Mm, interesting. Mm.
Oh yeah, I now seeing that you're resetting yourself like I was watching like the in the video down right, you are also you are resetting completely yourself to the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you make a recording with you doing fast this? Like at two speed? Twice the speed?
No, this is just normal speed.
Can you like maybe show like the one that I think I did twice the speed? I think it's called fast.
Right. Let's see. Fast or fast projected? Should we check?
No, fast. That's just fast. Yeah.
Fast. Yeah. So stop share and then do the sharing. Mm, no. Wait. This one. So it's like double the speed, right?
This is double the speed. The dot is a double the speed. And I'm moving left up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now it makes sense. Like why you're doing this movement because that's the resetting. Because at first I thought it's more like the like a different articulation you wanted with the movement, and I didn't know it comes from the idea of like reset and then move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
reset up and move. Yeah. So also the quality of movement will come like that because you need to go fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof. I was just thinking like if we decide to make the the dot moving only left and up, that's possible if we wrap around, right? So if the dot hits the limit, then it just like wrap around, like it comes from the bottom and it goes all the way to the left, then it just like wrap around and comes from the right.
Yeah,
So that's the kind of thing that I mentioned because I mean with the non-Euclidean space.
can you expand on that?
Because if you're just moving to the left, then in the Euclidean spaces you just keep moving to the left. But we can define a space that wraps around that's non-Euclidean space, I think. So like at one point, the point disappears and shows up on the other side. But it's not going in circle.
But I think
Dot
that's
is,
I think
yeah,
it's interesting that that maybe let's we have to come back to this
yeah,
this.
okay. So same link. Okay.
I think it's interesting because we can it will provide also more motion. It will, I mean, if we do, I mean, at some point you have to, if you're going left up and then the point of the left will appear to the right, you will have to go there anyway to, or you have to do something with that. So it will provide more motion.
By wrapping around, like just going.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean, I just found like it's like really nice idea to like bridge from what we talked about, like this hyperbolic or like non-Euclidean space and VR, and then like what is like to embody that. So this task actually is to embody this non-Euclidean space by just following left and up. And then at one point, of course, you have to reset or you have to decide something that is not in the instruction.
But this is then interesting in, I see them the possibility to acknowledge that it changes. Like, I mean, I like that the way how you're connecting that with the virtuality, like of not being or changing from the real space. So the real space being the grid to an out of the grid, so to the non-Euclidean space. But then maybe it gives the chance to then do something in that moment or to acknowledge that.
Like a glitch, but
Yeah, like I see, like, or to go back then to this metaphysical space, like then to use a sigil or it gives, so something is out of the space. So what I was speaking was from a physical perspective that will be interesting from motion, that it forces you to move, but if what I'm interested in right now is like trying to bring this back to the conversation of the sigils or the metaphysical, I think through this non-Euclidean perspective on this grid, it could work. Like I mean, in concept works, you know, like I understand why you're saying that it works in my head, it works, like it
yeah.
makes sense. Like now it enters that metaphysical space in that moment, it is going somewhere that allow the dot to appear to the right part. watching the video.
Mhm.
Um, can you play the video of the that is called Fast? What? Fast and Projected, I think.
Fast projected.
Yeah.
Mm. It's like you're competing with each other almost.
It has this quality that it feels almost like the two characters that you see that they are different person, no? Like the while in the previous one, then you don't. I mean, it they seem in this one they see quite different, no?
Do you think so? Like I found like the movement quality wise, the last one is more different, but this one it feels like more like a competitive, like you're like competing with each other. Like you have to be the first one.
Yeah, and that was the intention.
Like everyone's, like catching up.
I was really trying to like it is. What that I think is interesting is in the previous one, I'm playing full
Mm,
uh, with almost this possibility to be in future and in the past. Um, I can allow myself to play with this and then try to be sometimes fast or sometimes slow. Or I'm almost playing with this feedback. While here, I'm just trying to be faster. Yeah.
yeah.
But this is, I think it could be interesting. Like, what else? Like, like maybe there should be other things that I could do. Like what I found interesting, and this is like and as part of my notes is like this element of loops multiplicity is interesting. So perhaps there are ways to find basically different scores. Like in this one, my score was being fast, right?
Mm,
Right. In the previous one, I was trying to be playful.
right.
Maybe I could do the opposite. Like maybe I could try if it moves to the left, I would move to the right. I don't know. Like to find
Oof. Yeah.
to find ways like to give purpose to this other character. I really
Mm,
like I really like this recording uh of myself doing the exercise because it's already I know it's like then it's I have one instance of myself doing one task and then start trying to do things with that base.
yeah. This is like definitely something more than how we started. Like at first I was thinking, like different shapes and I mean this inner feeling that was also interesting, but then it's something like kind of added quality to the movement, right? Like we can move softer or more grounded, but that's kind of like articulation. Like that's kind of more like, what you add to this movement. But now we're talking about, like do it faster, or doing like, playfulness. That's something more of an instruction, concrete instruction that you have. And then
Yeah.
the body reacts to it. It's not like the body is trying to manifest something, but you have the instruction, the choreography in actually two levels. One is the Pathfinder itself, and the second one is another like added instruction. And then we see how like what body does. I'm trying to think about like where we started or you started about this VR being representational, geometric, and it's hard to embody. And we are already like embodying it. And it's not VR, but with this geometry, we're embodying this geometry, right? Somehow through this exercise.
Just embodying the geometry. Like we're trying to embody the geometry. I think there is this element of like a difference between the viewer and the performer. Like I'm seeing that I'm finding interesting things when we watch these things again. Um, yeah, because if you think like from the mover like, perspective, then just the commands gets clear. So physically you are just engaging doing something, but it's not really, you're not thinking from a metaphysical perspective. It's just a physical action that it gets concrete for you as performer to do something. But then when you as viewer, you are perceiving that you start giving meaning of that. So then we start talking, then in your words, then you put words on that, and I put words on that. I
Right.
start giving meaning because what we see is something that is unfolding in loops. I mean, there is not random and is also is not completely perfect, but there is a cue in what is in what we see as viewer, what we are experiencing.
As a mover, like I really thought about this Twister game. I never played it, but like it's like a mat with different colors, and you have to like touch the color that shows up, right? It's
Yeah,
basically like that, like at one point becomes impossible, but you still have to follow.
but this is interesting. Why the twister? It's not possible because there's more people. Because if you're alone, then you can keep on doing it forever.
Well, I don't know exactly the rules, but I guess you can't like at one point, no, or like depending on like your pose, if
I think
the
it
color
depends more or less, but because I think the
with
main rule is
others.
like you just go, they tell you your hand or hand left right and right left foot, and then it's fine as if you're alone, I guess. But once you are with more people, then you cannot do that. I
Mm,
mean, at some point you just get entangled and then just you fall.
yeah, yeah. And then I actually, when Mio was presenting, like, like at his talk, I think he made Pathfinder because he wanted to make some kind of inspiration that basically like impossible to do. So he started with like a little avatar of the body that moves like completely random. And that's like the way he wanted to have like inspiration for, he was doing like popping and, like imagination is limited. So he wanted to like make the algorithm just do random stuff, random movements with the avatar and try to do that with your body. And then he moved to Pathfinder, which is more geometric, not like a human body. But I think the idea came from that kind of impossible movements.
I was thinking that maybe we could try to think from the perspective of the viewer. Like, what is that we would like to see as viewers? Like, I'm saying that like what we are doing so far, I think, is trying to make it clear for us as movers, performers.
Sure.
So what if we try to switch and try to think what is that we find interesting on this, or what we would like to see more of is.
Right. Like just throwing something really general, but most of the people like to see bodies, not lines.
What do you mean?
Like this geometric stuff, like some people are super interested in this kind of representation, but people don't get engaged in just, watching dots and lines. This super general statement I'm making.
Like that you mean like people will be more interested in seeing people than the
Exactly.
lines?
Yeah. Even if
Okay.
it's like projected visuals, because I had this performance like many years ago. I started with like generative stuff that it took like hours and hours to make, and everyone was like just like,
Yeah.
and it was really weird because the audience, like most of them were like families from the neighborhood that was in Korea. And then like at one point I started showing my face projected and like start deform my face with face tracking. But even before doing face tracking, I just projected my face and everyone's laughing. And I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense now. Now that I think of it, it makes sense.
But then what happened, like, so if it's say this is projected, and after 2 minutes, then the person comes in the space, and then it does something with it. The viewer needs to start finding out what is his purpose. It will need to start to figure it out what is the purpose of. And then after a point, like if it's just straightforward, it will get out. It's just following the dot, right?
Sure.
And then you can start decomposing. I mean, like doing something with it, as we were just doing in the past days, like basically increase the complexity somehow, the algorithm that you are trying to um and that's one way to go, I guess. This is something from the things that I'm reading, that there is not about showing. I mean, that in this kind of work, or the way how I would like to approach this is, yeah, actually the difference between performing art or interactive media installations of media artworks is not about this, that in performance you show something to people, while in interactive arts then the people are doing the artwork with you. And something also like that the artist is not changing the artwork while it is presented to the people. Like that would be in performing art, you are changing what you're presenting. You're presenting something and people give you attention, and then you start, yeah, you're presenting something, you're sharing something with the people. But there is this distance, no?
Yeah, and it's like one to many most of the time.
Yeah.
Interactive stuff, it's like one to one, or like, I mean, it can be different, but I was thinking, like, do you want to use spoken words or like text?
Absolutely. No, like I think this should be the most. I would like to make it very clear, so there is not. So starting like from saying like this is not a performance, like this is like the sharing of something, but like to basically to clarify the expectations. Like what is this not about?
Or what is this about? What is this not? No, I mean, it's just words, but are you thinking of something like a lecture performance, or as like
I
part
think
of the performance?
yeah, like I think I would like something as a lecture performance.
Because I found, like, I don't know, this is just my personal preference, but like this lecture performance thingy, like really tricky, that it's not a lecture and it's not a performance. Like I end up, to me, like it ends up something like it's nothing. No.
Yeah. No, I get it. So I guess the way I would like to see it is just like to use words when it needs to be used. Like say for instance, like if I decided to do in this way, just an example, as I said, like just the greet, then the person, then evolves in something, then just saying that that's gonna happen, basically. Just literally underlying things that they are obvious, which is normally not the way how I work. And in art, you constantly you make things interesting. So I think my approach to this will not be make it interesting somehow, but more obvious. I would like I guess the goal would be if a grandma or somebody who comes here with no knowledge on this can get,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I'm doing. Like my intention will be more in clarifying some points that I think are interesting to
Yeah.
share.
I think that's really on point, like regarding the audience that will come to this event. I think it makes sense.
What did I say?
Well, you just said underlying things that are obvious. Just very,
Underlying things that are
very,
obvious. Yeah.
yeah,
Underlying things that are obvious.
yeah,
Yeah. Underlying things that are obvious.
it's good, I think.
Yeah, like I'm interested in working on the perception of dance when it's mediated through digital environments. And that eventually will, I mean, digital environments like virtual reality headsets, that's, I mean, that's where I want to aim this. But not right now, I'm not.
Right. But this is like the next question, right? Like, what is this for? Because this is not, is this a VR piece that you want to make, or is it like a stage performance you want to make, or is it something else? People will question. I mean, regarding the audience who would come to this. They need to picture like what is this made for? What kind of presentation? I mean, yeah, what format is this?
What do you mean?
So like super practical, but for example, someone from the theater, another theater comes and then
Yeah.
they see this piece, but then they need to know, are you like trying to make a 30-minute performance from this on the stage, or is it something like a VR installation you want to make, or is it something else? For example, I mean, we could say it's a research, but then
In a way, I think is I think the performance will come anyway. Because yeah, that's from where I come from, and also
right,
it will also happen with in what we work with Modena. Also, it's a performance.
right.
So I think I see it more like as a performance installation. Like it's something that it has a moment where it expands. I mean, where a performance moment, but it's also something that can stay as an installation.
Mm,
I
I
mean, that's
see.
what I would like. That's what I would like to see to go. And the
Yeah.
reason why I like this word, like performance, like lecture performance, is because then what I'm doing, I see it as this is a research.
Yes.
It's weird because like I wanted to have this as more like to actually work on the content, like
Mm,
I'm researching again. Like this is a research. Um, so the content is not here yet. Like, and my proposal here was to work on and where I like the content is what I speak about, like the sigils or trying to find something that is, yeah, content basically that
yeah. You have to create the world basically about like, yeah, what where this resides.
yeah, and this is
Yeah.
not there yet. So, and I don't
Right.
know. I want to use the sigils as excuse for things there. I mean, that's my. I think I want to insist in that idea and try to let it become something. It's
Mm,
through that I think like the content should appear.
mm. Yeah. So coming back to what I asked, like, what is this for? I feel like I don't know, like what probably like we're on the same page. Like, this is something, plastic or something that can take different forms, right? It is a performance, but it's more like this itself is the media. Like best practices, for example, like this itself is the media, and we're not making a performance, but it can be a performance, and it can be a workshop, and it can be a web installation somehow. And I think what like this project is also like maybe the sigil is something that is in the center, but it kind of goes to the performance, and also it can be a performative installation, or it probably can be like a VR experience as well, or a web installation. Mm, that it's like mixed media. Um, it's I don't know, like like one content can be a movie and also TV series, and they can have merch, different angles. I'm trying to think something like that, more like a popular culture where you can have different outlets. Or it's like a comics that, becomes a movie and a series, toys. But I don't know if that's like clear to those people or the audience, or is it just making it more complicated?
Yeah, I think that it makes it more complicated, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
No, I think I
right.
would like it to that it like to bring it somehow to, or at least to approach it with forcing it or to become a performance or to become an installation or something that is more clear, because I
Mm,
know by nature how I work, it will not do that completely.
mm,
While if I just allow just to keep it open, it can become complex in nature to yeah, like the yeah, like practices, like it becomes more something that is yeah, it's something in itself. So, yeah, um as you said, something in itself. Yeah.
mm.
So I
Like,
I did like I think I would like in also I was thinking like I don't know, like to use maybe so like the people perceive dance in different ways mediated through technology, but then is that, do they have to then see a dance, meaning that then, meaning that if you then is, do I have to show them a dance, or are they the dance, like, because if they are seeing a dance and then through technology they perceive the dance differently, is different than if they are doing the dance, whatever that dance is, and then you get the point that I'm saying? Like basically, if I,
who are they?
they is
The
the viewer,
audience?
the
Okay.
audience viewer, yeah. Like if I present some dance and then through technology then show different perspectives, or if they are the dance,
Like interactive
yeah,
piece.
like they become the piece, like if they
Mm.
are the dance, they are aware that they are, I
Yeah.
mean so there's a
But
question
this,
like, yes.
I think, I I feel like they have to see something instead of trying out, because from the earlier discussion, it's like we found more when we watch us moving.
Right.
I mean, that's more the interesting part in this project, I feel. I mean, of course, as a mover, there are things that we discover, but from the distance we see something that was not intended in a way, which is interesting.
Yeah. So they should be a dance. They should be a dance, like that. We should create a dance for them to see. It's not so it's not only an, so in that sense, it's not only an installation. They should be a dance. In this way, how we are, I mean, now we are approaching the dance through the pathfinder. In this case, is the dance. Could be different things, but in this case, is like right now we are approaching through Pathfinder,
Right.
and I'm totally fine with that. Then,
Yeah, I still question, is that but more the question is like, is that the only option? I don't know. I'm just
I mean, one can assume like the dance will be like, say, like the loop, like the Pathfinder just itself without a body. You know, you can present as that. Um, but I think an easy way to take it, at least I think until the next week, like what is will be through a body, so through me or you, like through like performers who are doing Pathfinder somehow, like and then see from there if the audience is invited to do something, or if it is required for the audience to do something.
something we didn't talk about is when we do it, you're filming your back with the projection. When
Yeah,
I do it, I film myself like this so that you don't see Pathfinder video.
right. Yeah.
That's something we could play with also, because I was like I kept thinking like, what if at first, or at one point, the audience doesn't see the dot, that that's just the body.
But this is something, I mean, this is something actually literally that I can do. What if, for instance, if I record and I can do it in a loop, like, like then using the same loop, um, the loop happens, then I go into the space, then I do with the loop, uh, and then I project, then I use my headset, and then I basically do that. But then there's no projection. I'm not projecting anything. Or I can put it the other way around. What if I go into the space, I project the loop in the VR headset, so then I'm doing it, but nobody see what I'm doing. People are just seeing that I'm moving. Uh,
Yeah, but you could also do the same as I do. Just have a laptop, or it can be a projection, but just film yourself from the
without
front.
without projecting that.
I mean, you could project it, but if the camera is at the projection, I mean, just have to move the camera that is filming your back. Just move it to the stage, or the
Filming
front.
me.
Yeah, just film you. Then the camera will see you, but not the projection, right?
Yes.
I'm just thinking, like, for example, like if the audience just see that maybe as a video at first, then they don't know what you're doing, right? That you are actually following the dot, but they don't see that they are following the dot. I'm just like throwing this. There is like, some like missing part if someone for the first time to watch that video, that you are just doing this.
Yeah.
Let's come back to the call again.
Wait, I go to the toilet. Give me 1 minute, 2 minutes, and I come
Yeah,
back.
same. So I'll just close it and then we come back to the same link. Okay. Something I found interesting. So in the video, like I shot in the studio, in dance studio. So there were some people watching. Like I asked them, like, can I just take 5 minutes to just film myself? And I didn't explain anything to them. And I was holding one phone and using another phone to film myself. And after I finished, like they asked me like what was on my phone. And then they thought like I was actually like watching myself through another camera and doing some kind of complex feedback or whatever. But it was just the dot that was moving, which I found it's funny, if you don't see Pathfinder video, people try to think what this is and they come up with like crazy ideas. And then in fact, it's just dot that's moving in the grid. And that's why like I thought, what if we project or perform something without showing Pathfinder at first?
What I think it was interesting, no, I think I totally follow your idea, but somehow I like the what if is, but you're doing basically the same if I'm having the VR headset.
Hmm. I mean, that could be one scenario, right? It looks like you're doing something really complex if you have VR headset and trying to, no, you are moving. You have a VR headset, you're just watching Pathfinder and following the dot. But visually, if you have the headset and if you're moving, then people have to think what you are doing. And then it looks really complex thing that you're doing. I don't know if that's something you're
Yeah, because I
thinking.
mean, what I like is that just, I think that's something we can start thinking that I was thinking of that, like we have to expand on that no another moment that, but perhaps one way how we can make work with through the technology is maybe do it create an augmented reality application that you can just put it in a phone or in, um so not for now, but perhaps that's something that I thought that maybe we can think about it. Oh, what is the purpose of like the, so to think more like in the nature of the medium. So medium being the VR headset, and then not wanted to deal with the whole, I mean, not wanted to give like 10 VR headsets for like, I don't know, like, so working with the nature of the medium. So yeah, in that case, it's like through the VR headset that you can see Pathfinder and you are doing it, but the people don't know what are you seeing. So you're hitting that, and after you're showing them that. Maybe I just will just record it and then we can talk on that. Like I just do Pathfinder, so the loop, one of the videos that we have.
Right. Maybe we just stick to the 5 minute, 5 loops thingy,
Yeah.
the last one. Yeah.
What do I'm thinking that yeah, maybe just we can talk on that. Like, what is because what we're trying to achieve here is like more like see what is the perspective from the audience, so that maybe just could be just that now. Like then I do the exercise, and then with the headset, I record myself in the space doing that, and then I project. Then I record myself. I mean, I try to do it in one action.
Mm.
There's just one recording. Then I just take off my headset and do the same, but without the headset.
And do you think you can ask around? Just show the video of you moving with the headset, and doesn't they don't have to watch the whole 5 minutes, but just ask people, other artists, what they think about what you're doing.
Of the video that I should like, then I show them the video.
Yeah, I think that's easier. I mean, they can come to your filming, or
Then becomes a performance.
yeah, no, just a video.
But then I'm thinking that I don't know, because I'm just already seeing like the problems. It might take longer but I will do it, I guess. And based on that, then yeah.
I mean, just film it and then see. Like, I was trying to think like what I can do. I don't have a VR headset. I don't have big space, but for example, like what if I just do the exercise, like maybe like draw on the notebook, film it. So like I'm gonna watch Pathfinder and just follow with my pen. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
That would
filming the drawing part, or I could, I mean,
Okay, I see.
I already did in front of the camera, but what else can I do that doesn't show the video itself, but I could do something. It can be also, like connected to ritual, right? Like what kind of ritual I can do from the
I
movement of Pathfinder.
Yeah, and I like more that like then I think I like the what you said, like just drawing,
Mm,
because
yeah.
then you will draw differently, like and how I will draw.
Yeah.
Can we do that then? Like just for a second? Like, can you take a paper and then we just
Yeah.
take and then we can show each other. I would like to see what is that you see over there.
We just follow everything, right? Not just left and up, and then it's just, well, whatever you do. Do I have a pen? Yes, I have a pen. Okay. I mean, I wanted to record it, but let's
I
see if
can
I can.
I can use my phone actually to this thing has this this phone with this phone you can do that, but
Yeah.
it comes. I don't know with your phone you can, but with your computer I know you can do it. You have
I mean, I just have to hold it like this for 5 minutes, or I could maybe put it somewhere. Mm, yeah, I'll try this. Yeah. Ah, look what I got. My family are musicians. I mean, my brother and my mom.
no, I know I can do this by this. State manager. I know this is different.
Okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna just start.
Wait, I need to. Oh, why? Hmm. Like this. My God, why? Like, I don't understand what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can share. Can you share?
Wait, it's still 3 minutes.
Can we do it again?
Uh, what? I'll just finish
Okay.
and for another 2 minutes and then I'll show it to you.
Hmm.
Okay. And I got
Mhm.
video recording. I don't know if I can just like do airdrop to my computer. It will take some time maybe, but I
Can
think it's
you
nice
just
to.
show? Because can you? I
I'll do
cannot
it
also.
proper way. I'll try to do it proper way. It will be fast. Uh, rotate right. Sound off. Play. And yes, we.
This video 5 minutes is 1 minute 5 times.
Yes. So if you finish after, it's like 1 minute and 3 seconds or something. I was not looking at the notebook at all. It's really funny to see it. Really creepy. It looks like I have some kind of intention.
I think what is interesting is that it's quite simple. Is that we don't know why you are doing something that is concrete, but we don't know why.
Exactly. Like you try to
Like it's,
guess what I'm doing, right?
yeah, exactly. I am constantly trying to like, what are you doing? Yeah, that's what it makes it interesting. Yeah.
I like that my left hand is not moving at all. That was nice performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's quite clear. I like that it's quite clear.
Shall we like, so you do VR? I mean, you should also do this, I think. Or we just improvise what we can do.
So what are we doing? Yeah, I think we can improvise, but what are we doing? We're trying to
I thought like film something that doesn't show Pathfinder,
find her. Okay.
but we keep the same material, like the same like 5 minute loop. I mean, we could have like the concrete tasks, but um,
Okay, because I think I'm a bit lost in. I think there is something that is kind of getting clear for me somehow. In I don't know how to articulate this with words. That maybe the focus. I mean, what we're trying to do right now is to yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, maybe just like let's do like this for today, and then but because I would like to go back to this idea of like the sigil, like what is
right.
but maybe it doesn't have that, but yeah, it doesn't have to be forced right now. Well,
No, but I started to think like the video of loop of Pathfinder itself is like sigil that I mean in that article you sent me, like sigil is something that you create, right? From so you have like a wish or something, and then you construct with different shapes. And for example, this is like complete nonsense in a way if you just look at this, but we started to like I mean, we already worked on this video loop like a couple times, so we started like generate like meaning, although it was generated completely random. And I think I see that's kind of the entry point where we're creating sigil, but not in a way that normally you would do.
so you will see like that the sigil itself, like the sigil is the pathfinder itself, and then we
Yes,
choose maybe, and then we choose how to reveal or not reveal that.
right. Instead of we design it, it is designing us. I don't know if that makes sense, but and I like the process because it's kind of like flipped and something that would be overlooked. We're investigating something that is overlooked normally,
What?
which is
What?
just the dot. Like people wouldn't really value or find meaning in just, dot moving like almost like random fashion, but we're trying to find meaning. I mean, it is already in a way enchanted. It's an enchanted dot,
Right.
and we're already initiating the ritual to enter the dot, which it might be part of the geometric or the VR space where you started, or there's a symbolic representation. But we're flipping. It's not like we're capturing the body and quantizing the body into dots, but instead we started from the dot and we're embodying it. We're making a ritual around it. I mean, it doesn't have to finish with this idea, but I feel like this is like interesting perspective to your project or our project, because you know that we're like really like literally flipping the
So
perspective.
that we are so yeah, so because normally so in flat terms what you see is a dot that is moving, right? So then you're saying that we are not, what's the words that you use, that we are not quantifying that, or that we are not
Well, we're
mimicking that.
right. I mean, quantify, I said because, if you use motion capture, that's a process that you quantify or quantize the body into dots, right? Points that moves in this 3D space. So it kind of like degenerating your body, but instead we're like expanding from a dot to in like as if we're trying to make the dot into the body or embodied experience.
Or to change, like, yeah, to change to manifest the dot in different ways. So taking the
Yeah.
dot out from the screen and how,
Yeah. I mean, that's
yeah, like
literally what we're
in
doing.
the body or in any other different action.
Yeah. I really like this actually. I think it's really cute also.
So if Pathfinder is the sigil, and then we are saying that the sigil connects what is in physical through metaphysical. Um, in the exercise of the drawing, the physical is the physical of you doing that, and actually becomes metaphysical when the viewer sees, right? I mean, for is going back to like for you, you are doing an action, like but then from the audience is the one who has to find meaning in your action because it is concrete, but
Yeah.
the audience doesn't have the information of why you're doing that.
Right. They have to extrapolate and they have to imagine
They
what
have to find, they have to
is
find
happening.
meaning.
Yeah. And in fact, it was just a dot.
It's just a dot moving that you're seeing, but we are
Yeah.
not seeing.
But this makes sense that, that we can say that actually dot has a meaning because you thought about the meaning as an audience. You try to, fantasize so many things from the dot.
this is like, but what would you say? What would you said? Like, so I'm trying kind of to say this. So the sigil is in the middle. So the sigil connects like physical and metaphysical, or like dance with meaning.
Yeah.
The is physical dance with movement. Sigil, then this also is objective movement.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, because I'm thinking like, so this is like from the perspective of the audience. So the audience, what you're seeing is like there is objective movement. So like this is objective for everybody just seeing this.
Right. It's
Right?
concrete.
It's concrete. Um, it only makes sense. I mean, they have to start finding something through the sigil, which they don't see. They don't see the sigil. They don't see the sigil. How much? Maybe that's a question. How much? How much? Or how do they see of the sigil? That in this case is Pathfinder. That could be something that can like help us afterwards to think in ways to show partly or to do something with it.
Mm.
That, but in this case, the physical concrete movement of the hand, they don't see, but they connect the dancer. Wait, they connect the dancer with the viewer. Do they connect the dancer with the viewer?
What, dancer? You mean like when dancer is following the dot?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same process, right? The viewer will try to imagine what they are doing when they say the dancer that's following the dot. Try to think what the intention of the dancer is.
Right.
Because they don't see the video.
So viewer, audience, tries to understand eye motion.
And I think there's different implication. So one, if the camera is like watching me and I'm doing like, like as just like what I did with the setup, that I see the video on the screen and I record it with the webcam, versus you do it with the VR headset. Because if you are doing with the VR headset, then I mean, if I'm doing like this, then it might be like a choreography that I remember and try to do something. But if you're wearing a headset, then people would probably think that there is something happening in the headset that is something.
I think that's something here like that we are not mentioning, but that it appears in that is what it makes it interesting from this exercise that is that we have traces. Like you have like the paper keeps, I mean, this paper still is there. Like, and it will be there. I mean, it stays there, especially because it's physical. No, the paper will be there. so that's something, the traces like,
Mm. Let's come back tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, probably you want to try the VR or something to just record, or
Yeah, let's try to keep
or the drawing.
keep it open if you see also
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I'll try to think what I can do if there's anything else. I mean, I also have the homework to try out, how to make it repeatable Pathfinder web page.
Yeah. This, like, if
Yeah,
you can check on this, I think on that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay. And
if
then,
I come up with that other exercise, I'll do it. But let's see.
yeah.
But I think we're touching like really interesting ideas that not just interesting for us, but it's probably like interesting to show, and it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And you just need to find a way like how to articulate it.
Right.
But it is, yeah, I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we have the good concept. So
And I think the